Next, I want to show you something called pseudo elements. These guys are kind of fun. There's actually two pseudo elements that I'm going to demonstrate. The first one is going to format the first sentence, the first line in every single paragraph throughout our entire document. And the second pseudo element that I'm going to show you is going to format the first character inside each paragraph throughout our entire document. So let's go and see how this is going to work. Give myself a little bit of room inside my internal style sheet. And here's how you code these guys. Again, they're called pseudo elements. I'm going to specify the HTML element that I want to control. So that's going to be a paragraph, right? So I simply type in P and then type in the actual pseudo element itself, which is going to be : and then first hyphen line, just like that. It's kind of a weird one. Now, this HTML element, though, this could be any HTML element. It could be an H1 or really whatever I want. But for showing this first line and first letter pseudo element, paragraphs work really well. So I'm going to go P and then : first hyphen line, followed by a space, and then, of course, my curly brackets, just like this. Now, of course, inside the curly brackets, I can throw in my CSS properties. I'm going to keep this, again, fairly straightforward. I don't want to do anything too insane. And by the way, not all CSS properties will work with your pseudo elements, so you might want to try and keep it a little scaled back. But let's say, for example, I want the first sentence in every single paragraph, I want them to be italicized. Well, we've seen this a number of times already. Font style, : space, and then italic. There we go. And maybe I want these first lines of my paragraphs to also take on that blue color that we've been using. So I'm going to go color, : space, and then $ 3366FF, followed by a semicolon. Go ahead and save this up. Flip back over to your browser and refresh. And there we go. Every single first line of every single paragraph is now formatted using the specifications that we set inside that pseudo element. Pretty cool. So every once in a while, someone will ask me, hey, how do I format the first line of every single paragraph? Well, that's how you do it. The first line pseudo element. Now, you might want to experiment and see what CSS properties will actually work here. For example, font weight. Maybe I want these guys to be bold as well, something like this. Okay, so that's the first line pseudo element. How about the first character inside every single paragraph? So this is great if you want to create what's referred to as a drop capital. This is something that I get asked about all the time. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get rid of the pseudo element that I just created there, and I'm going to take my page all the way back to where we started. Now this guy's actually coded in a very similar manner. Here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to specify the HTML element that I want to control. It's a paragraph, of course. And then I'll throw in the pseudo element. So : and then this time it's going to be first hyphen letter, just like this. And then your squiggly brackets. And then, of course, inside the brackets, I'd go and specify my CSS. And again, not all CSS properties will work. You'll want to test them and try them out, and especially test them in different browsers as well to check the support. But maybe here I'm thinking kind of a drop capital, so I'm going to go font size, and I'll try 18 point. And maybe I'll change the color to that blue that we've been using. So again, 3366FF. Maybe I'll make it bold as well. So this is now the first letter of every single paragraph, of course. Refresh. So now every single first character or first letter inside every single paragraph is now formatted using the blue and the size that I set there, and of course bold as well. And again, I definitely encourage you, experiment around with different properties and different values to see what you can come up with on your own. So once again, it was : first hyphen line and : first hyphen letter, your pseudo elements.